So on that note, thank you so much for doing this with me. And is there anything that you need in order to just feel ready for some coaching?
First, I must note that your painting is gone.
Yes, my painting is gone.
That's weird.
I know. I'm in the middle of changing my space around, and so it's right over there, but you can't see it because I wanted to see how it felt to be in a space that didn't have it because it's so busy.
Gotcha. Okay. Other than that, I'm good to go.
Okay, well then, what's showing up for you is important for our conversation today.
I've recently noticed a trend, ignore the dogs. I've noticed a trend where I am really procrastinating more. I have like almost like a lack of motivation, which is not typical for me. I'm not normally one to put things off to the last minute. And so I'm really wanting to get some clarity about what's going on around that.
Okay, what does it mean to procrastinate for you?
When I have specific things that need to be done, I know they need to be done, and I'm like, I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later, and good. I mean, literally, just do anything other than that one thing I need to get done.
Yeah, so sort of an avoidance of doing the
Yes.
thing that needs to be done. And if we were to get clarity on what's driving this procrastination, what would maybe make this a useful conversation today?
Um, I think that, I mean, honestly, I can put things on my calendar and say I'm going to do it by this day, which I have done, and then I still procrastinate. So I think the clarity around it for me would be figuring out why I'm procrastinating around it and what it is specifically around what's going on, what's different maybe.
Yeah.
So that's causing this for me right now. I think just the clarity around that would help me once I can figure out what it is and I can do something about it.
Okay.
But I'm not even really 100% sure why I'm doing it.
Yeah, so I'm really getting some clarity around the why behind the procrastination. What is it that when you're having the experience of, and I don't know what the word is, so I'm just going to throw it out here, but like, what is the experience you're having when you are not procrastinating and things are getting done the way that you would like them to be, like you're doing what you need to be doing?
Right. Well, normally I feel pretty productive. I'm trying to find the words, I guess, I'm normally very task oriented, while still seeing the big picture, because that's part of my job, seeing the big picture and everything. But I'm also able to really, focus, get those tasks done. I'm very much a go-getter on top of it. I'm able to do a lot more tasks because of the fact that I'm able to just get it done. So I guess the word would be productive.
Yeah, so this sort of procrastination to productivity is where the clarity needs to happen. So as you think of yourself as productive, what is in the way of your productivity? If you just even, not in your head maybe, but just sit with that for a second, what's showing up as a place for us to explore?
I find it very interesting that when you said what stands in the way, I literally got a tightening in my chest going, what is in the way? That's interesting to me because you said it and I just like,
Interesting.
there's some stress there that I hadn't recognized until you just asked that question. When you said, what are you noticing? I noticed
Yeah, the kind of the tightening up of your heart. What is does your heart have something to share with you about that stress?
Hmm, I'm not sure. That's a really good question. It's not something I've thought about. I think right now I'm just, when you asked that question, the first thing that came to my mind was um, be gentle. Be gentle with yourself. And I'm not sure why that's the first thing I thought of when you asked me what my heart needed to tell me.
Mhm. Be gentle with yourself.
Hmm.
How do you treat yourself when you feel like you're being a procrastinating person?
How do I treat myself? I think that I'm significantly harder on myself than I would be anyone else. I give everyone else a lot more grace than I would give myself because I have a lot of demands, and other people, their productivity depends on me. If I don't get my piece done, then they can't get their piece done. And so it feels like I'm using a lot of P words today, but it feels like pressure. I have productivity, procrastination, and pressure. I have an alliteration thing going here, but um, it feels like there's a lot of pressure. And when I don't get my pieces done, I feel like I'm letting other people down as well as myself. So,
Mhm. So as you're hearing yourself alliterate the P's and the pressure and the procrastination, but I'm also hearing this element of personal responsibility. And the word that's showing up for me, and I'm curious how it lands on you, is integrity.
yes. Yeah. Huh.
What allows, oh, you were about to say something. Go ahead.
No, I was just taking a breath. Literally wasn't about to say anything at all.
Okay. What allows for that sense of integrity for you?
Well, for me, it's one, doing what I say I'm going to do, but not just that, but doing it well, doing it to the best of my ability.
Mhm.
Um, this is so bad, but when I was in the Marine Corps, we always have those people that they would half-ass their way through their life, right? And I would see people like that, and I'd be like, yeah, they get things done, but it's never, it's just good enough. It's never above and beyond, or it's never like to the best of their ability. I mean, if that was the best of their ability, it'd be one thing, but it's like, I don't know. I can't imagine going through life just getting by, just doing the bare minimum. So
Mhm.
for me, integrity means showing up, um, and giving my whole self, giving all of myself to whatever it is that I'm doing, which right now is like impossible. I can't give myself 100% to everything that I'm doing because there's too much.
Yeah, what
If I
does
gave
that tell
100,
you?
huh, there's something has to give. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I understand when I just said that, where that pressure is coming from. I'm finishing literally my last month of my MSW program. We have a lot of changes going on at work. I'm running a veterans program through the therapeutic writing program. I'm on 2 boards. It's too much. It's literally too much.
Yeah, I mean, that sense of overwhelm, it makes me curious about the expectations you have of yourself and your integrity.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing right now. I'm procrastinating doing anything because I feel like I'm not doing anything well. I'm not doing any one thing well. So I just don't do anything. If you can't do it well.
I love the little laugh that came up. What's that?
Because it's so simple when you ask that question that it just like solidified for me. That's the problem, is I feel like I'm not doing well at anything. So just don't do anything, which is
How
the
does
source of
that,
that procrastination.
yeah, so how does that, I guess you may have just answered this when I was talking over you. How does that answer your why about the procrastination?
Yeah, I mean, that is the why, that clarity, just wow. I feel I have this overwhelming sense of I'm not doing anything well. I'm kind of doing everything to just get it done instead of getting it done well. And oh, how I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh, how I hate that for myself. I want to do things to the best of my ability. So
then in reality, what needs to, like, what's stopping you from, let me rephrase that question. What would allow you then more ease as you move towards doing the things that you're doing well and being productive?
what would allow for more ease? Well, I think for me personally, I'm really focused on, of course, my last month of graduate school. And it would really, it sounds so bad, but if I could just step back from some responsibilities on the different boards, and maybe we just finished one veteran program. I'd like to wait until I've graduated before we even consider starting another. The problem is, June, July, and August are prime times here in Alaska to have equine programs. So saying I need a month off would be hard.
May I share an observation?
Yes.
It sounds a little binary. Are you the only person who can hold that space for 3 or 4 months?
That's a good question. I don't know if we could get someone else to fill that spot, but that's a good question. And I'm taking notes now. That is actually a really good question. If we, I think I just need that time to recenter. I hadn't considered that until you just asked that question. If it's binary, am I the only one who can do it? And I don't think so. There's lots of people who can do what I do and do it well. So finding someone to fill in for the veterans program would be a huge load off my plate right now. I can step back from the other board with, we don't really meet in the summer. So because everybody's gone fishing and camping, so we don't really meet in the summer anyway. So that's about to, take care of itself for a little bit. I think, yeah, finding someone to fill in that, at least for that one space, take that one thing off my plate would really free up a lot of time for me to finish what I need to finish.
Yeah. And so as you're looking at this plate in front of you, how does it begin to look to you as you take this one element off of it?
That's actually a really good visual, because before it was like a Thanksgiving plate that was overflowing and the gravy's falling off the sides. And now
Drip,
it's like,
drip, drip.
yep, everything's just falling off the plate because you don't have room on your plate for everything. So now it's more like with just that one piece gone, everything kind of fits on the plate again. Everything has its place on the plate. So
As you look at that plate, are there any other things that maybe need to be explored for the value they offer the plate?
oh, we're looking at the protein versus the carbs, huh? Well, I think some of the things on my plate have different degrees of value to me. Of course, my graduation, I mean, it's a month away, so that has very high value. Work, I love my work, I love my job, and it pays my bills, so that has really high value.
Ching.
Some of the other things on my plate don't have as high of value in that aspect, but they do have value in that they are my my hobbies and my passions, and it's something that fills my cup.
Mhm.
So they have a different kind of value on the plate. It's like they're my veggies versus my protein.
Mhm.
I love these food analogies we got going. I'm not sure how we did that, but it works for me. So I think if I was going to take anything off my plate, as far as the value it adds to the plate, I think the veterans program was the big thing. I mean, although it's incredibly important, there are other people who could fill in. I'm sure we have people who can fill in. And then for work, I actually have a really, really good team. I'm positive they'd be willing to step up and take over some of my duties just for a month. So I can get all this other stuff done and then honestly, that's one thing off my plate.
Yeah. How does, I mean, what just shifted in you as you're envisioning this new plate?
I felt an ease,
Interesting.
literally felt an ease. Like, it's okay. You do
And I
have a
saw
lot
it
going
in
on.
I saw
Yeah.
that in the place where you had your heart
Yeah.
tightening up. I'm seeing you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the reality is there's not enough of me to go around. I can't keep going, go, 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 go. Because when I say that I have a lot of responsibilities on the board for our therapeutic program, our therapeutic writing program, it's a lot. I mean, it's not just showing up to meetings. It's, organizing the fundraisers, printing out the raffle tickets, verifying our insurance is paid. I mean, it's a lot. It's almost like a full-time job. And so I think stepping back from that and asking others to step up in those arenas would be very helpful. We do have a vice president who can step in, and then finding someone else to run the veterans program for the summer would be phenomenal. And then literally I have a great team at work, and asking them to take on some of these duties so that I can focus on graduating. I think that's huge. I can actually see my plate, not just the food.
I love it. I love being able to see the plate. And I just want to touch base with you, as we've had this conversation, what is showing up for you as things you really want to hold on to?
I think the biggest thing is asking for help. That's hard for me. And I don't know why I didn't think of that sooner, because I know that about myself. Asking for help just to get through this hump, because this is really just a hump.
Yeah.
And so asking for help to get over this hump is the big thing I want to hold on to right now.
Yeah. What does that tell you about? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to need that help, and it's okay to reach out to help you over the hump. So
yeah. What did you just learn about yourself as you're saying this?
boy, it sure is hard for me to ask for help. And as a professional help giver, Brene Brown would be going, Tracey, Tracey, Tracey.
Yeah, she'd be like, girlfriend.
She would. Oh gosh, it's like that moment of clarity when it's something so simple that you're like, why couldn't you see this for yourself? And
Well, it's hard to see a plate that's very, very full.
it is. It is. I mean, I literally have things dripping off the plate. So I need to get some things off of it. So
Yeah.
thank
Any,
you.
anything like any actions that might support these awarenesses that you're now having?
First thing I'm going to do is email the team for the Veterans Program. And then I'm going to reach out to my boss at work to see if she can take 2 pieces off my plate. And I thought of them as we were talking. And that will really free up enough room on my plate that I can actually see the plate. But just those 3 things right there will help me see my plate.
Anything that might stop you or get in the way of you taking care of yourself in this way?
I think people have, I don't know whether it's through my own doing, but they look to me as the problem solver in this, oh, like Tracey will do it. So I think setting that boundary, saying Tracey can't do it right now. And I'm not sure why I'm talking about myself in the third person, but setting that boundary, saying, no, I can't do this right now. I absolutely cannot. So I think setting the boundary will be hard for me.
And so what might support you in being able to follow through and set the boundary for yourself?
I think the visual of the plate, understanding that right now I'm not doing anything well. So if I want to do it well, I have to have the boundary and I have to be able to say, I can't, my plate is full. So. I had to write that down, sorry.
I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know. I have this sense of like that Thanksgiving meal with that very overfull plate. And I've eaten a few of those in my life. And I'm having that experience of just the discomfort that comes with having eaten everything on the plate versus being a bit more mindful about what I'm choosing to have on the plate. I don't know if that resonates at all or what resonates about that for you.
And absolutely. I think that's overall where I am right now, is being more mindful about what's on my plate. What's filling my cup versus, overflowing my cup. So,
Yeah.
and right now my cup is overflowing. My cup overfloweth.
Are there any like character strengths or values that you have that you can use to hold yourself accountable to your agreement with yourself about taking a few things off your plate?
Integrity is a really big thing for me. So in order to be honest with myself about what I can and can't do right now is really important, especially because everything that I'm doing is really important. So it is stuff I want to do well. So that really helps me hold myself accountable to it, because these things are all important and they deserve to be done well.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did we do on getting to clarity?
That is, yeah.
Procrastination to productivity. I think that was our arc.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is our arc. And right in the middle of that is that plate, right? Over here is, oh my gosh, there's so much on my plate. I don't even know where to start. You're at the buffet with all the desserts and you're like, I want one of everything, right? Versus, okay, well, which one can I actually eat? Which one can I, enjoy? So
That's a beautiful word too. How do I enjoy my plate?
yeah. Because right now I'm not enjoying my plate. Right. So, I mean, literally when we started this conversation, I was like, and just understanding, where it's coming from and how I can fix this in the moment. It just, I feel it. I mean, I physically feel the lightning. So
Beautiful.
thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Is there anything you want to acknowledge yourself for as we come to a close?
I just can't do it alone. I'm not an island unto myself, and I need to ask for help.
That's right. It takes a village.
It does. It really does. Yes.
Yeah. Does this feel like an okay place to come to a close on the conversation then?
It really does. Thank you. It
You're
does.
very welcome. You're very welcome.